So speaking of culture, and I've said this to you in various conversations, but I think I've had it more solidified. So like you know how us as black people, we're expected to like find our roots and then like not only find them but then lean into it. So like I did my ancestry and like I know where I'm from now, da 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 da. And I guess we're expected to then like try to like learn about that culture and incorporate parts of that into our lives. But like I've come to the realization that like I don't want to do that. I'm okay with my black American culture. And not okay with it. I don't accept some of the things that are wrong with it. But I have accepted that if I try to like go into like okay, so I found out I'm from like Benin, Togo, and Cameroon, where like the big parts of my West African lineage. What am I supposed to do? Just hop on a plane and go to Cameroon now and like because they eat with their left hand, am I supposed to start doing that now? Or like because they have certain virtues that they believe, am I supposed to like adopt those now? And who's to say that what they do now is what they did then? So does it count? These
So
are some of the things I've been rationalizing.
I let you go because what you've just done is you've stepped into where I'm at. So I've never done an ancestry 23andMe or anything like that, and it's not because I'm not like it's not part of my story. Well, I don't know if that's part of that story because I don't know if you can trust those DNA
Yeah.
devices anyway. Like, don't know the science behind them, and I do know that they have been wrong before. So I don't know if I can trust them. But like my story as a black man is that I don't know my origin. Like that is part of my origin story. Is that you have taken that from us, and my position in America is based on that. Like, so when they talk about like how like racism's not involved in everything, like don't turn into everything about race. Well, like when you are a culture that does not know where you come from, where the beginning of my culture is slavery, but if I can't go anything past that, that is my culture. The story of me as a
Exactly.
black American is that you have stolen my culture. So you can give me a 23andMe and like give me the percentage of what my blood is, but what my culture is, you cannot give that back from me. That is what you have done, America. And then you have also built a whole system that now doesn't even regard my culture so that you don't have to keep um, being accountable for what you've done. Like
Mm-hmm.
America has gone, this has happened, but we don't want to talk about it anymore. So let's change our history to not talk about it anymore. But the issue is that you haven't accepted it, you haven't addressed it, therefore you haven't apologized it. You, if it was a part of our normal day and part of our like, we have to talk about racism because racism is a part of our society, and the reason why this country was built is because racism existed. So now we have to be better. If that was the conversation we had all the time, then I would feel differently about it. But what I know is that y'all don't want to talk about it. So like, don't give me a BS conversation to talk about where I'm like, I'm 2% this, I'm 7% that, 8%. Because the real conversation is I will never know truly what I am. Because what you've done is you killed my ancestors and you didn't give me that opportunity. So I'm with you. Like I don't, you could say I'm part this, I'm part that, but what I am is I am a American, a black American. And what does that and what that means is I'm an orphan in this country.
That is the culture.
That is my culture. I am an orphan in this country, and I will never know past what my grandfather did.
Yep. Yep. Like that is the culture. And so I have now because like the more I spend time and have conversations with my African friends, and I say African in quotes because like it's a whole continent. So like even within that there's nuances. But consistently I'm like I don't feel this need. I don't have this urge to have what you have in terms of this connection to Africa, in a sense where like you show I was talking to one of my friends on Skype, and in the background he has family photos hung up where all his family are in African garb. Like there was a point in my life where I was like, man, like I don't get to do that. I'm lost. Like, and I'm like, wait, I'm not. That is not my culture. It's not. Like I'm a
100%.
descendant. I am a descendant of that. But that is not my culture. This
And
is
I'm new because of that. Our story, that is the nuance of our story. So,
exactly.
and like, if you go back to Africa, I mean, because I mean, I've talked to you about this before. Like, looked at like buying land in Africa and like what it looks like. One of the big things that come up is like you are going to deal with racism because you are an American, and like I didn't choose to be an American, but there's a level that I have to accept and understand that the privileges and the lives, like the So, me being American, I think that McDonald's is normal. I think Christmas is normal. These are things that I didn't get a choice in having a say in. By the time I was thinking for myself in cognitive, I had addictions already. I had, I was hooked to these things. So even me trying to understand, if I was to go back to Africa and try to find myself, Africans are looking at me as an American. So I'm going there to try to find my African roots. Now, am I going to eliminate everything that's American and, like you said, just start copying what they're doing because that's the right way to do it? Well, how is that now being a culture vulture?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like denying. That's what white people want to do, right? Like that's what we talk about. White people want to do. They want to deny what they have been through and say that they've been through what we've been through to consider themselves an ally. But that's not what allyship is. Allyship is understanding, respecting, despite not knowing, despite it being different. So I can understand that I'm African without it being my culture.
Exactly. You are a descendant of that continent.
Yeah.
And the reason why you got here is unique in the sense that you are on this land of the Americas through enslavement. Your ancestors were enslaved. Now your new story begins. Unfortunately. But like now you are a product of that. You are a product of the American experiment. And so I think it's unfair that I think we put this pressure on ourselves as Black people that we're supposed to embrace what we perceive as African culture. What we perceive as African culture. Okay, I may wear my hair up in a hair tie and wear certain prints. Okay, those are certain elements of African culture, but culture is deeper than what you wear. It's who you are, like, and the way you think. And so so the way we a lot of conversations we have are about business and money, and that's because we come from a capitalistic culture. Had we been grown how we if we grew up in Jerusalem, our conversations may be more based on like religion. As an example, I don't know, I'm not from there, but I'm making assumptions, right? Like that would be how we talk, or that would be the basis of a lot of our conversation. But right now we're trying to win at this system that we were born into and the culture we were born into. Some people, their life goal is to make it to heaven, like, and that's what they do. They surround their lives around that. And so, or whatever. Yeah, but you get my point. So yeah, like I'm feeling a lot. I feel a lot better about myself, and I'm being a little bit more forgiving to myself about having this weird pressure that like I need to be African. I need to know what's going on in Africa. I need to like. I don't feel that way, and I don't want to feel bad about that.